welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, welcome to Views by Beck. Today I have a very, very special guest, as promised. He is here today. So we are going to be talking about a particular topic. So I'm going to allow him to introduce himself so he can get to, know you guys a little bit.
Hello everyone, my name is Samuel, and what do I do for a living? I'm a pastor, an entrepreneur, personal trainer. The bottom line is everything I do is about empowering people. I love helping people become a better version of themselves, and I love what Rebecca is doing. I know we've talked about you doing this for the longest, and just seeing you go after it is very, very inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, so a backstory. Sam has been amazing since the moment that we met him. He has been extremely supportive, and we always have great conversations whenever we're talking. And he kept, saying to me, if this is what you want to do, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. It took a little while, but here we are, and I'm so happy to be doing this. So, Sam, do you want to tell them what topic we're going to be talking about today?
We're talking about not settling. Not settling when it comes to your dreams, your goals, relationship. Just not settling, going after what your dreams are, whatever dream that you have, the picture that you have in your heart, that it could be a possibility. You don't have to give up on it. That many times people just, live below what they're supposed to be living at. So I think it's a good conversation to have, especially when there's so many excuses people can have in today's times. So to just put away all the excuses and focus on the possibilities, I think is something we can talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I believe my previous videos, I did mention something about this, and basically encouraging everyone to go and find their purpose in order to pursue it and do something greater. Because I truly, honestly don't believe that God did not send us here to do work 9 to 5, and then wait to get old and die.
It's a wait.
Yeah, basically, because once you're done working at a certain age and then you retire, what's next? You're literally just sitting there waiting for God to call you up.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite authors is John Maxwell. And they asked him one time, when do you plan to retire? And he says, when I die. And people laughed. But the point he was making was, he loved what he did. He didn't consider it work. Right. They say your job is probably what you get paid to do, and your calling is what you were born to do. Right. And when you're doing what you were born to do, you're probably not even looking at the time that it consumes or the resources that is required. You're just so focused on bringing that vision to reality that it actually gives you life. So and it also studies have shown when people retire and do nothing, they die earlier than if they keep doing something. So I do agree that we do the folks that believe in God, we understand that He's intentional, right? He doesn't create without a purpose, and if He created animals with a purpose, how much more us who were created in His image. So purpose is the reason for the existence of a thing. So finding why you are here, discovering it and acting on it is what differentiates us between the success and the failures.
That is absolutely true. There is something that you just said that the guy that said that he didn't feel like it was work, right? Because he loved what he did. A lot of us do not love what we're doing. We're literally doing it, and I talked about this in my previous video. We're literally just doing this or working just to make a living, but you're missing the whole point of making a life. We have to get into the mindset of making a life for ourselves. Making a living typically and usually is not the issue. If you are in a country where there are opportunities, you'll find a way to make a living, right? But are you making a life for yourself? Are you happy? Are you in love with what you do? Are you passionate about what it is that you do? I talked about this particular thing that we're talking about now in the last video that I recorded. And I talked about how I was one of the people that was making 6 figures, because I talked about working a 9 to 5, or it doesn't matter how much you're making, you can still be unhappy doing it, right? And I was one of those people. I was working, making 6 figures. I was doing really well in my career, but I was not happy. I just felt as though I did not want to go to work in the morning. Not because I didn't love my patients, I did, but there was just something missing for me, right? And I felt as though if I were to continue pursuing that path, I would be settling. Because I know that there's something greater in me that I'm yet to pull out, right? And that opportunity or that career path does not challenge me enough to be my best self, right? So I was one of those people, and of course, thank God I was able to, quit my job, but with proper planning, of course, because you can't just quit.
Of course, no. It's like there's nothing wrong with having a job, or even if you do have a 9 to 5. I tell people, let your job be your dream funder. Let it be your short-term plan, but do have a long-term plan. A good friend of mine, Sherman Brown, one of the things he always says is he says, many of us are making a living, but are we honestly living?
Yeah.
Right? And the answer for most people is no. We're not. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
We're still struggling. So we know that just working a job or trying to make a living is not the solution. The way God designed it is when you live on purpose and do what you're called to do, you attract money.
Yeah.
See, whatever you chase eludes you.
Right.
We always talk about the law of attraction, but the reality is when we become what we're supposed to become, right? Remember, we're human beings, not human doings, not human havings, right? Many times we focus on having things or doing things, but when we focus on becoming, we begin to attract all the other ones, all the other things that we would like to have. So I think that is just, one advice I would give people, even if you do have a job, like you said, with proper plan. Jim Rohn says, work full time on your job and work part time on your fortune.
Yeah.
The reality of this is this, Rebecca. Most people are just lazy. I know it's funny. People don't like to take responsibility. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard anyone say this? Oh, I didn't get as far as I could get because I was lazy. Or I'm a failure because I quit. People don't take responsibility for their lack of success. They always blame, oh, my dad didn't have money.
Right.
Oh, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. It's like we blame situations and things that are beyond our control. But we forget that we are born looking like our daddies, but we die looking like our decisions. So we are really a replica of the kind of decisions we are making.
Yeah.
So that is why when we talk about not settling, what we need to ask is, why do people settle?
Yeah.
Why do you think most people settle?
So that is a really good question, and I would like you guys to leave your comments below. And also subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Leave your comments below and let us know, why do you think people settle? So to answer that question, I think a lot of people settle because they feel like that's what they're worth. They don't believe in themselves enough, and they feel as though that's as far as they can go. Right? Like you said, the people that feel like they don't have wealthy parents, they didn't come from a wealthy home. You have some people that are so determined. That's one thing that people need to understand. Never lose that determination and that motivation to do better. Once you lose that, you get comfortable. You get complacent in whatever position that you're in, and your drive and your motivation basically stops, right? And I think that is one of the biggest reasons why. It's not because of lack of funds. I think people just settle because they feel like they don't, even in relationships.
Yeah.
You settle because you feel like you can't do better than that, or you're just comfortable. You don't want to put in the extra work, or you feel like even if you were to put in the extra work, it's not going to get you where you need to go.
Yeah. I'll share two reasons. I mean, there's so many. Everybody probably have different opinions on why people settle, but I'll give two. Right. The first one is going back to how we are wired as human beings, right? When we are born, babies cry as a way of seeking attention. They say attention, recognition is something that all humans crave for. Babies cry for it, men will kill for it. And all of that is going back to, we are wired to seek love, to be loved and to be understood, right? So I want to be loved and I want to be understood. So many times I begin to care so much about what other people think of me. Because if they don't accept me, that means I won't feel loved and I won't feel accepted or understood. And that violates the way I'm wired. No, that is why again we go back to the solution is to be grounded in Christ, knowing that you are understood, you are accepted, you are loved. God loves you unconditionally. But that craving, right? If you go to this book, the Think and Grow Rich, he said he did a study on why most people quit on their dreams and quit on their goals. The number one on the list is fear of criticism. We care so much about what other people think of us that many times we would not do what is necessary for us to get to the place that we would like to be. We are sacrificing our destiny at the altar of people's opinions.
Yeah.
It's so mind-boggling. There is this quote that I always tell people: if you live for people's approval, you will die for their rejection.
Yeah, because they will reject.
So one is people care so much about what other people think to the point that they might not do. Sometimes you have to do what other people think is stupid and doesn't make sense and crazy, you know, to be successful. The second reason is this. I had a mentor of mine, and this guy makes like 6 figures a month. Crazy money. He has successful family, married his high school sweetheart, have kids. And someone asked him, how do you stay motivated? And he said, the simplest answer I can give you is this: I stay motivated by being around people that are motivated. Right?
Yeah.
The reason why sometimes people settle is that everybody around you is settling.
Yeah.
The Bible says, if you walk among the wise, you will become wise. Right?
And if you are hanging around 5 millionaires, you will become the sixth
one. If you have around 4 broke ones,
you will be the fifth if you already aren't.
So people downplay their environment. One of my favorite books is from Van Moody, The People's Factor. He said, people are like elevators. They either take us up or they take us down. You know, association leads to assimilation. We become like our environment. So if you're around people that have settled and not going after nothing, it's like crabs in a barrel, right? If you look at the story of the crabs in the barrel, right? The crabs are in the barrel and they're happy being in the barrel. But once one decides to leave the barrel, right? The story says that when the crab begins to try to escape the bucket, the other crabs will go and pull it back down. If that crab keeps trying again, they will go and pull it back down. And you want to hear the crazy part? If the crab keeps persistent to leave the barrel, they will break its legs. So think about how many people that are around people that are choking their dreams to death. People that are like they're dream killers, vision stealers. Every time they have a great idea, oh man, it's not gonna work. How are you gonna get the money? You don't have time. You have kids, man. Like they have a problem for every solution. It's crazy.
You know? I completely agree. And I think that's another biggest factor. The people that you surround yourself with, it matters a lot. When I say block out people, places, or things,
I like that when you said that last time.
Like, I mean that so much because I think what a lot of people fail to understand is this, right? You being a good, I talked about good versus bad, which will be, you being a good person does not mean that you need everyone to be in your life. You don't have to be in everyone's life. You can help people from afar. You have to focus on yourself and what actually lifts you up, what takes you to the next level. Because like I said, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you are trying to get out of a situation that isn't favorable, right, and you have a bigger goal in mind, you have to surround yourself with people that are doing what you're trying to do, right? You have to put yourself in that position so you can draw from them, be better, do better, and then you'll be able to help other people. A lot of people that are, rappers and stuff that are from the hood, it's like once they start making it, some of them don't want to leave the hood because they feel like, I turned my back on my people. But no, you have to get out of there.
Sometimes that's the best thing you could do for them.
Exactly, because some people, some rappers have gotten killed because they decided to stay because of the crab in a barrel, thing that you talked about. You have people around you that as you're making it up, they're not going to be happy for you or with you, right? They will be plotting against you. That's just human nature. So you have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I have a friend of mine. We talk about this all the time. We went to undergrad together. We've been friends for years. And she always said to me, girl, I can't have friends that, that are not on the same level as me. And it's not a condescending way at all. At first, when she said it, I honestly was like, wait, what? That doesn't sound right. You can't say that out loud. Thank God I'm your friend. I get it. But explain, right? So she basically said to me, this is why. Her husband's a doctor. So she has a certain lifestyle as a result. She has a family. She's doing well for herself, right? And then she's like, I can't be your friend if I can't call you on the phone and say, we're going to Miami tomorrow, we're going to Dubai tomorrow or something. If it's going to make you feel insecure or be upset or be jealous, we cannot be friends. And I completely understood that, because if some people are not operating on the same level as you are, they will think that you're bragging. Right?
Of course.
And they'll be so jealous about it. So it's highly important to surround yourself with like-minded people. Highly important.
And I think to add on that before we move, I know you want to talk about people selling when it comes to relationship. The last book I just read, which I encourage everyone to read, Relational Intelligence by Darius Daniels. And in the book, he says, God sends people into your life, and it's your job to align them and put them in the right place. You have to think of yourself like a CEO, right?
Right.
You fire, you replace, you delegate accordingly. Everybody should not get, everybody gets love, but everybody doesn't get access, right? And sometimes the reason why people feel bad when they limit access is because they're so concerned about the other person. When you start thinking about, I'm not doing this for them, I'm doing this for me, right? This is about destiny. And just to finish up on that conversation, many times the people we surround ourselves with are people that approve of our behaviors, or people that that we have a common past with.
Right.
A big part about making sure that you stay motivated and excited about life and goals is this: you cannot be the smartest person in your circle of friends. They're like T.D. Jakes always says, if you're the smartest person in the room, that room is too small. If you make the most money among your friends, your circle is too small. It's like you have to be around people that challenge you.
Yeah.
So many people don't have a circle; they have a cage.
But some people don't like challenges.
And that's the problem.
You need challenges in order to grow. Like,
course.
how will you know what you're capable of, and how would you know what level you can get to if you do not challenge yourself?
Yes.
Some people like being the wealthiest in the room. It makes them feel good.
Yeah, but but if you really think about it, the ego is insecurity.
Yeah.
The ego is actually hiding something.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So when people are trying to be the smartest or the most influential person in the room, it's typically because they don't like something and they're trying to mask it, right? And before we move on to why people settle in relationships, one of the reasons why, because I'm going to say this because you brought up challenges. So the first reason I gave you is people have a craving to be liked. So many times what they might do might not be what other people approve of. They might not get cheerleaders, so they assassinate their dreams. Two, people are around people that won't lift them up. Their circle of friends think too small. You cannot pour greatness into a small mind. It's going to leak. So being around people that are like-minded, that are going somewhere, that will keep you motivated is key. The last part, which is where you talked about challenges, success, anything of great significance takes time, right?
Yeah.
And there's this old saying, winners never quit and quitters never win, right? One of the things that made most people settle is the fact that they don't want to wait. They don't want to go through the challenge.
Overnight success.
They don't want to go through the process because we understand this, that for everywhere you see success, there is a price that somebody else have paid. But because as a instant gratification society, we are so focused on the glory that we don't take time to learn the story. Right? So every promised land has a wilderness that you have to go through. And just because you encountered obstacle or a challenge or failure doesn't mean that you should stop pursuing your dreams. So, like, one of my favorite stories I ever heard is about the Chinese bamboo tree, right? So if you heard of the story, I'll tell it, right? So the Chinese bamboo tree, right? It's like a little seed. When you plant the Chinese bamboo tree, you plant it. It's required of you to water that seed and fertilize it every single day. Now, think about it. So you plant this seed. The first year, you have to water it and fertilize it how many times? Every single day. After the first year, if you go and check the seed that you planted, you know what you're going to see? Absolutely nothing. Most people will quit after the first year of working on something and dedicating their time, putting in money and putting in resources. First year, nothing. No, this must not be it, right? They quit.
Right.
But the truth is you have to keep watering it and fertilizing it. Second year, water and fertilize every day. Guess what you see? Nothing.
Nothing.
The third year, what do you see? Nothing. In the fourth year, however, now you've been watering and fertilizing the seed for 4 years. All you're gonna get is a sprout.
Oh, that's encouraging.
It's crazy, right? But now listen to the crazy part. In the fifth year, in 5 weeks, the tree grows 90 feet tall. The question is, did the tree grow 90 feet tall
Overnight?
in 5 weeks or in 5 years?
In 5 years.
Exactly.
Because you kept being persistent and
You
keeping
kept
at
watering it.
That is.
It's like the compound effect.
Yeah.
Compound effect says, if I give you $3 million right now, or a penny that doubles every single day for 31 days, what would you choose?
Me, 3 million. I'll tell you what, I do 3 million, because we don't know tomorrow.
Okay, let's say you know you're going to live for 31 days. The 31 days, right? The crazy part is, right, most people, you're not alone.
Right.
Most people will choose the $3 million because, again, it makes sense, it's big, it's instant. But a penny that doubles every single day on the 31st day turns into $10 million. And if you think I'm lying, go and do the math. A penny that doubles every single day in 31 days is $10 million. But most people will jump immediately at the $3 million, forgetting that over time, what we can achieve in years is often underestimated.
Right.
And we overestimate what we can achieve in a day.
That's a good one. Don't be like me. Don't go for the 3 million. Okay? Go for the penny and keep putting in that work. It's highly important. So now we're going to switch over, and I hope you guys have learned some things. He's amazing, by the way. Love him. We're going to switch over to relationships. If this video is way too long, we will make it a 2-part. But we're going to go right into the relationships and settling in relationships.
Yes. It's funny, we just had an event yesterday, Relationship Essentials. It's something that I host every month, once a month.
Follow him on Instagram, by the way, Relationship Essentials. At Relationship Essentials on Instagram.
Yes. So we started that on that platform for young people, everybody to learn how to do relationship the godly way. And the crazy statistics is that 8 out of 10 people are in a dysfunctional relationship. Now, dysfunctional doesn't necessarily mean your partner is beating you up.
Right.
Abuse doesn't always come physically. Sometimes it's emotional abuse. Sometimes it's financial abuse. Sometimes it's mental abuse.
Yeah.
And many times it's because we make the wrong choice. I always say this, like God doesn't pick our partner for us. When it comes to relationship, you choose who you're going to do life with.
Yeah.
And the ability to make that a good decision a great decision when it comes to who you're going to spend the rest of your life with will determine how far you really go in life.
Yeah.
But again, the power of the people around us. So when it comes to people struggling in relationships, many times it's a symptom of a problem that is underneath. Right? What we do on the outside is a reflection of what is going on the inside. There's a saying that you cannot travel within and stand still on the outside. So most people, when they settle in relationships, is because they don't understand their own value, or they haven't taken the time to build themselves up to be valuable. So they end up settling, because when you don't know your value, think about it, right? If I don't know what my value is, then whatever price you put on me, I'm taking it.
I would think it's worth it. It's a lot.
Yeah, so when it comes to relationships, most people are letting other people define them.
Right.
Now, and that is why I always tell people this. Go back to the first man. Before he was given a relationship with another human being, there were certain things that were already in place. So before Adam ever got in contact with Eve, right? Before there was a relationship, he knew who he was. He had a clear sense of identity. There are people today that don't know who they are, and they're trying to get in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's unhealthy, right?
Highly.
Because now the person serves as a mirror of who you are. So what if they say you are beautiful, you're beautiful.
Beautiful today.
And if they say you're ugly, then you're ugly because you have let them define you. Adam, before he began a relationship, he had a clear sense of identity. He had work. He knew what his purpose was. You know, the guy talked about, I made you in my own image. Your job is to name the animals, all creation. That was Adam's job. He was given the law. He knew about God. So pretty much in summary, what I would say is one of the easiest way to not settle in relationships is to have a solid relationship with God where you get to know who you are.
Who you are.
You know, that way, because when you know who you are, like the Bible says, where there's no vision, people perish.
Yeah.
The vision is a different translation of that scripture says, where there is no revelation of the future. You know, and revelation is truth. Where there is no, when I don't know who I am, I throw away all disciplines. So when it comes to settling, like we could talk about so many different reasons, but the first one is people don't have a clear sense of identity.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to start this channel. And this is why I'm passionate about this, because I honestly and truly believe in individual growth. It is so important to function as an individual. Being your best self will make everything else around you easier. Relationships, financial situation. You have to take time to invest in yourself. Learning how to find balance, how to find peace, knowing who you are. It will make a great difference in your life if you do that. But if you don't know who you are, like he said, then you'll take anything that comes your way, And so it's important for us to do the work. Do the work. Don't be lazy. Listen to, the videos that I put up. Try to look for other videos or books that you might be into that, is all about, uplifting and knowing who you are. And do that work. It will be so worth it. It'll save you a lot of headache in the future. It really will.
100%. They say we cannot give the best of ourselves until we know the rest of ourselves, right? It's hard to give people what you don't have. And when it comes to relationship, when you work on yourself so much and you understand what you bring to the table, then you are willing to walk away from something that does not serve you. Most people don't have the courage to walk away because they don't know their worth. No. They haven't put in the work to understand, I have made this sacrifice. I know what I'm worth, and what you're giving is not, I'm not going to take it. The other thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to settling is this. Many times people ignore the red flags, right? We ignore the red flags that people show us. There's this saying, most people have this savior mentality where I'm going to change him or I'm going to change her. Yeah. Right? When people are showing us who they are, we should believe them.
God, just believe it.
Because at the end of the day, you're not looking for a project.
You're not.
You're looking for a partner. You don't want someone that you're going to always. You don't want to be fixing someone. Now, no one is perfect.
Right. I was just going to implement.
No one is perfect.
Of course, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a project, right? Having to fix someone else. It just reminded me of yesterday's live thing that we were talking about breaking the wall. We're talking about breaking the wall. And just to clarify, because it kind of goes into what we're talking about now, right? It doesn't mean that you should go look for a project, right? But I honestly believe that when you meet someone and you're so interested in that person and you really want that person, right? Perhaps they were hurt in the past, right? So they may not be as open in the beginning. And I'm not talking about after marriage, but in the beginning, they may not be as open. That's the kind of wall that I'm talking about breaking. Basically learning what your love language is in order to do those things, in order to make them feel more comfortable and trusting of you if you are planning to stay in their lives. Because you don't want to miss out on a person because of their past or whatever may have hurt them. You know what I mean? But individually, it's also important for you to do the work. Because if you do the work and a guy's having to meet you halfway, it's better than if you haven't done any work at all and you're just resentful, because you're going to mess up and miss your blessing. So it's important for you to do that work for yourself as well.
You know, I like that because, and that just reminded me of something when you talk about people letting their past, bleed into their future. Daniel have this thing he calls rejection infection, right? When we feel rejected, many times we think we are over it, but we're really not, because it's sometimes you could have eternal bleeding.
Yeah.
Nobody sees that you're bleeding, but you are bleeding, and it's killing you slowly. A lot of times, people are trying to seek relationships when they have not properly healed, right?
Yeah.
So when you're not healed, it's hard for you. You're going to attract a project.
Yeah.
Because we attract what we are, not what we want.
Yeah. Friendships too.
Yeah. So people have to take the time and heal.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why most people don't take the time to heal is this: most people don't know how to be single.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Most people want to be in a relationship
because they say, to get over, a past person, you have to get under a new one.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe that.
Yeah.
At all.
Those rebounds, no. Yeah.
Because you do have to heal. You know, otherwise you're still going to be making the same mistakes, the same pattern, if you don't heal from what hurt you. You might even end up bleeding on the people that didn't even hurt you. So you have to be careful,
Think about it like this. Think about an omelet. If one egg is bad, would the omelet be good?
No.
The omelet is a relationship. The two individuals are the eggs. If one egg is bad, the omelet is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the way I put it, right? The individuals make up the family. The family make up the community. The community make up the cities. The cities make up the states. The state make up the country. The countries make up the world. So if we want to fix the world, what do we really need to fix?
Start with yourself.
The individual. That's what they say. If you want to change the world, look at the man in the mirror.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I hope you guys have learned some great tips. Feel free to comment below. Let us know what you agreed with, what you still have some questions about. I'll be more than happy to respond to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for staying with us this long. Hopefully it wasn't that long. It was quite interesting. I always love having conversations with Sam. He is just a ball.
This is good.
So hopefully I'll be having him come on for many more episodes, because he's amazing. So please subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. Like, share, comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Oh, and don't forget to follow Sam on Instagram at Relationship Essentials. Thank you guys.
Thank
Bye.
You.